I miss my independence. I miss I just miss me sometimes. That's it, that's the thing. I miss me. I'm living surrounded by ignorance. That's what it is. And there's no way out. It's a very foolish thing. It's a very foolish thing to move to Thailand on a budget. In hindsight, it's a very foolish thing. And in hindsight, it's an extremely foolish thing to get married to a Thai on a budget in Thailand. This is so goddamn peaceful. But I wish I was in control, because I'm not in control. That's the thing. I don't want to live in Bangkok anymore. I don't want to live where it's banal and repetitive and tiresome. I don't want to live in Phuket. I don't want to live in Pattaya, because they're contrived. It's all contrived. It's all catering for a culture that isn't Thai. Sometimes I think I can understand Thai, but other times I haven't a clue. It sounds like a mumble. It is a mumble. Listen to it. Haven't a clue. But I'll tell you one thing. It's a very foolish thing. It's a very foolish thing to move to Thailand on a budget. In hindsight, it's a very foolish thing. And in hindsight, it's an extremely foolish thing to get married to a Thai on a budget in Thailand. You see, if you're on a budget, you're restricted. If you're on a budget alone, you're restricted, but you're in control. If you're on a budget and you're married to a Thai, you relinquish your independence. And you set aside, but don't set aside, you give up your control. That's what it's like for me. I live on a budget in Thailand. And my budget doesn't lend itself. My budget doesn't afford me any degree of luxurious lifestyle, any degree of real escapism. That's what you need in Thailand to be happy, is escapism. I love escapism, so do you. And the worst part about my life in Thailand, I mean, it is wonderful, but the realization of not being in control and relinquishing your independence weighs heavy. It really does. It weighs heavy on me. Especially when I look back to the past, when I lived in Ireland. I was on a very generous salary in Ireland. And I had a boat, a triple hull dory with a 30 horsepower outboard engine and a steering wheel and a cuddy. How I would love to have that degree of escapism in Thailand. I'd love to have a boat down in Pattaya direction, whatever, and be able to afford the mooring. You see, you couldn't afford the mooring. Couldn't afford the mooring in Ireland either, I just had it on a trailer. But the very fact that I know what makes me happy and I can't afford it. I don't want to be in Bangkok anymore because my life in Bangkok, it's out of my control. I'm married with a son, wonderful, wonderful wife, wonderful son. But it's very repetitive. And at this stage of my life, repetition is something I'd like to have parked from the past, because you spend your whole life, if you're in gainful employment, that in itself indicates that you're living a life of repetition You get up and go to work. You have your lunch. You go back to the office. You go home. You go to the gym maybe, or you watch TV, or you're in an amateur dramatic society. Oh, gee. I've done that. I've done that in the past. My God. Amateur dramatics. Do you know, there's a place for amateur dramatics, and it's not anywhere I'd like to be. This is where I like to be, because I have a degree of control. I feel like I have a degree of control over what I'm doing today. It's a Sunday. I hate Sundays. I hate Sundays. But it's a Sunday. And my son doesn't have to go to school. My wife isn't at work. And I can continue doing what I'm doing here now, talking to you, almost all day, you see. But because it's Sunday now, we're working under a time constraint. What do you got? We're wondering Jesus, dogs. That dog belongs to the Italian guy who's my neighbour. He's gone off for the weekend. He's got a great life. He's got a great life. He's completely independent. He's not married. He's not dependent on anybody else for his visa. I am. And it doesn't sit well with me. It really doesn't sit well with me. The uncertainty of being on an O visa marriage department of that O visa. Because there is no such thing as a marriage visa. There is no such thing as a retirement visa. It's all an O visa, non-immigrant O visa. And they make it very obvious that it's non-immigrant because it says it on your passport. You're a non-immigrant. So what the hell is a non-immigrant? It's a negative. And you're completely dependent on I'm completely dependent on my spouse to validate that. What the hell are they talking about? Do you know something? I made a video about the Thai language in the last video. There's something very, very annoying about Thai. I mean, you hear it. That's just me. That's just me. When I'm annoyed, things annoy me. What the fuck? Do you know, a lot of people think that I'm addicted to alcohol. I'm not. I had 4 bottles of Corona last night. I thought it'd be nice. And you know what? It wasn't. And I was hard pressed to finish. And the small bottle. I was hard pressed to finish the 4th one. I'd love to have the money to go on a boat, to go on my yacht, to go on my boat, not necessarily a yacht, and just sit, kick back and fish and have beer. That's what I used to do. I'd love to have the money so I wouldn't have to worry about how I'm going to fill my day, because if I was concerned about how I fill my day, if I had money, I'd just spend it and fill my day. God, it's a pain in the ass being dependent on somebody else. My wife is going to retire within the next 12 months. That's what she tells me this morning. And then we'll be up here full time. I know there is a wealth of things to discover in this rural setting. There really is. And I'm going to enjoy it. But the prospect of going back down to Bangkok to live in the sanatorium where we live, and it's like a sanatorium. It's a condominium with 2 gates, security on both gates, and security in the middle of the complex to keep an eye on the residents, to make sure they don't speak too loud, and to make sure they don't drink alcohol in the public area, and that's true, and to make sure they don't drink coffee in the common area of the gym where you can sit and have meetings and stuff like that. You're not allowed drink beverages or eat foods of any kind, and you're controlled by The watchful eyes of security. I make videos when I feel passionate about something. I've said that a million times, but it is passion. It is passion. I need a release. I need a release, but I can't have a release because if I want to stay living here, I've got to continue to be at the behest of the system. Oh, dear God, dear God, dear God. You know, this beats the hell out of life in Ireland. I mean, this is the 28th of December. I'll just double check that. Hang on. Yeah, 28th of December. I was going to check it on my phone, but I realised my watch has it too. And it's gloriously glorious, the weather that is. So I'd rather feel like this living here than feel like this living anywhere in Northern Europe at this time or any time. Oh God. Do you know, sometimes you can feel at peace living in Thailand, but it doesn't last long because of the vulnerability of your visa. If you're on a retirement visa and you have the money, not on a retirement visa, for the sake of, it's a term of convenience. If you're on a retirement visa and you have the money that you don't have to worry, go and spend a couple of nights in the Hilton to break the monotony. I'd love to do that, but I can't because I can't afford it. I've got a lot more than a lot of people. I'll admit that. But because of the fact that none of it is really mine, and that I'm only part of it because of the circumstances I find myself in, sometimes you wonder, is it worthwhile maintaining that set of circumstances? Well, you see, I don't really have a choice because I have a son and I have to maintain this set of circumstances because I couldn't imagine life otherwise. It's been said to me more than once that I'm living the dream. You know, that's subjective, you see. It feels dreamy. Well, it is dreamy. I mean, it's lovely. Compared to being in a bedsit in the north side of Dublin, or any side of Dublin, or Philadelphia, or Adelaide, or Johannesburg, or wherever you'd like to mention, in the West, in the caustic West. This is so goddamn peaceful, but I wish I was in control, because I'm not in control. That's the thing. I have no control. A relative of hers died, 85 years old, and they're cremating the individual. I don't know if it's a man or a woman, cremating them today, and it's at 3 o'clock. So I've been told actually, that we have to be packed up and ready to go home by about 2:30. And then we'll be going to the temple and we'll do the pay respects in whatever way it is. I'm not going to mimic it because I don't want to be disrespectful. And then rather than come back here after that, we just go straight back to Bangkok. Then we unpack, the washing will all be done. Then we have to unpack the washing, fold it, put it all away. I swear to God, lads, there is a lot of mundanity. Is that right? Can I say that? Associated with this. Life is wonderful. Life is wonderful. But what you have to do to maintain a certain lifestyle, you got to ask yourself, is it bloody well worth it? Being married to a Thai, lads, unless you're financially independent, it can be very, very restrictive. It can be extremely restrictive. Whoa. You see, it gets fucking worse, and I mean it. This crowd haven't got a clue what I'm talking about. And when I'm annoyed, I get annoyed, as you can hear. This is when you feel like you lose all sense of your independence. You're an also-ran. These are all here to go to a funeral. And I have to tag along. Yes, tag along as the also-ran. They haven't got a word of English, not a word of English. And you see, if I was independent, financially independent, I wouldn't have to tag along. I could do my own thing. But I can't, because I'm roped into this. This is where it gets bloody frustrating, it really does. I'm living surrounded by ignorance. That's what it is. And there's no way out. Well, there's no practical way out. Just have to put up with it. The highlight of my day now would be to go to a bloody, well, I won't say it, I'm not going to be disrespectful, to go to a funeral, God rest the person. But you see, it's going to be outside and it's 38 bloody degrees or something like that. And you'd be lucky, if you've ever been to one of these things, you'll be sitting on plastic chairs. And you'd be lucky if you're within, you know, the range of a fan. And you got to sit there for the best part of 2 hours, well, it's well over an hour. Listen to a repetitive chant. Talk about repetitive. And then we got to drive back to Bangkok. God, I wish I was independent. Well, you've rarely seen me like this, and to be honest with you, I've rarely seen myself like this. It's been years, and I mean years, since I've worn a shirt and a tie. But you see, we went to that funeral, and I must say, you should never assume. As they say, assume is to make an ass of you and me. Assume. Because whoever the unfortunate individual was, or let's say maybe he's fortunate or she's fortunate, I think it's a he, they seem to be very well connected. All the armed forces were there in style, and in force and in style. There must have been over 1,000 people there, and it was an experience. It was at a temple that I've never been to before. Just shows you that the surprises around the corner in Thailand all the time. But I can tell you, that's why I'm dressed like this, and I did it because my wife asked me to put on a black shirt, and I happened to find a black tie. I don't own a black tie, I found one. My humour is less frustrated. I feel less frustrated. I feel a little bit less frustrated because the rigmarole is out of the way. It's the end of the day, it's 6 o'clock in the evening, and I have one thing to do online. It's an hour long, and then my night is over. I was contemplating getting stuck into the gin, but I don't know if I will. Because sometimes, and to be honest with you, sometimes I get stuck into the gin to numb the effects of reality. And the effects of reality here, well, as I mentioned earlier on in this video, that I surrendered my independence. And it's, I don't know, sometimes it suits, sometimes it doesn't, and it doesn't suit today. When I say sometimes it suits, it's nice to be part. It can be reassuring. It can be reassuring to be part of a unit. And here's me saying I'm not part of a group. Well, I'm part of a family, my family unit. But having said that, lads, I miss my independence. I miss I just miss me sometimes. That's it. That's the thing. I miss me. I can only truly be me if I'm independent and on my own, and not a component part of a relationship. But that's the way it is. So it's a compromise. It's a compromise of unity. Oh my God Almighty. I can tell you that I like to bring you honest and provocative videos, and this probably is, well, it's honest. I don't know if it's provocative, but I can tell you this much. I've been provoked into making this video almost. And as the sun sets, it's not quite gone yet. You wouldn't notice it on the camera. It's almost gone. It's 6 o'clock. I just want to say that if you're coming to Thailand, think twice before you get married. Think twice before you surrender your independence. And look towards what future that may bring in terms of frustration, in terms of grieving the loss of you. There you go. Grieving the loss of you. Well, I'm not grieving because I get enough time alone to escape from the shackles of what it is I find myself in. It's not a negative video, lads. It's an open video. It's very open, in fact. And you're open to clicking that like button if you haven't done so already. The share button. Do all those wonderful things. And I'll bring you back another wonderful video very soon. Just before we finish, I just want to thank each and every one of you who have helped me with Buy Me a Coffee. You really give me the inspiration to keep going. There's the QR code there, and you can click the link below if you want to help out. There's a few of the names of a few of the guys who've helped me out over the past few days. On my previous video, I included everyone who's contributed for the year of 2025. I'll leave that list at the very end of this video again. But lads, if you haven't already done so, click the like button, the share button, subscribe button, do all those wonderful things, and scan that QR as well, or click the link below, and I'll bring you back another wonderful video very soon. Thanks for joining me.